channel. My name is Darian and today we're going to be doing the January book tag. So this tag was created by Jan from Jan Agaton, hence the name January. Get it? We get it. She's clever, that one. But this is a tag that she created last year, and it's basically questions to answer about the end of a reading year and the beginning of the next one, and it kind of helps you reflect on your last reading year and also the reading year coming up ahead. Now I know it is basically the end of January now. Hopefully the day I post this will be the last day of January, but it might be February when you're seeing this. So I apologize that this is late, but it's been a hectic month, but we're here and we're doing it. And yeah, so we're just gonna get into the questions. I have a Red Bull here because Jan likes energy drinks and I wanted to channel her. So the first question is, what was the last and the first book that you read last year? So the last book I read in 2022 was Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy by Cassandra Clare and some other people. This is one of the short story collections that takes place in the Shadowhunter universe. It takes place after the last Mortal Instruments book, but before the first Dark Artifices book. But there's also stories that concern characters from the Infernal Devices. There's a lot going on. I did not like this. I don't really like short story collections, so I didn't have great hopes for this, but we read it for the Shadowhunters read along, and so I read it, and it just happened to be the last book I read in 2022, so what a book to end the year on. But yeah, that was the last book I finished. The first book that I finished in 2022 was 7 Days in June by Tia Williams, and that book, I hate to say it, but the more I think about the book, the more I don't like it. And I know everyone loves that book so much, and I think just the writing wasn't for me. And I remember there was like a throwaway comment about ace people that just really bothered me, and I don't know, I didn't love it. There were a lot of trigger warnings too, so I didn't love it. So we started at end of the year on not a great note, but I had a lot of great reads in 2022, so I don't know what that was all about, but those were my last and first books of 2022. So the next question is, what was your first read of 2023? And the first book I finished this year was Now Is Not the Time to Panic by Kevin Wilson, and I read this for a video. So I did give it 4 stars, I'll say that. I enjoyed it, but I'm not going to give too much of my thoughts because I read it for a video, which hopefully will be coming in February. I was hoping to read all the books for it in January and I didn't, but yeah, it's a very short book. I listened to the audiobook. I could have easily listened to it all in one sitting, but I listened to it in 2 sittings. But anyways, it was good. It was, yeah. I'll talk more about it later. So the next question is to share 3 of your reading goals for the upcoming year. So my first goal, my Goodreads goal, is to read 100 books. I know that's a lot for me. Last year I read, I think it was 83 books, which is the most I've ever read in a year. So to go from 83 to 100, it's bold of me, but it was a goal that I had like in the back of my mind during 2022, and I was like, maybe I could reach it. And then I didn't, but now I want to commit to it, and I'm doing pretty well so far. I've already read 9 books, which is a lot for me in 1 month. So my plan to do that is just to, well, hopefully read more, but also read some shorter books. This leads into my next goal, which is to read more manga and graphic novels. I feel like I'm out of the game with manga and graphic novels, and I really want to get in the game, you know? Let's get in the game. Get your head in the game, whatever. Because the only graphic novels I've really read are Heartstopper, and then what else have I read? I've read Bloom, and that's about it. And I really want to read more. I have the first volume of Lore of Olympus. There are a few other ones that I want to read. Oh, I've also read Tea-Dragon Society and those books. And then manga, like there's so many mangas out there that I really want to start reading. I want to keep reading Spy Family. So I think getting into those will help my reading goal because obviously they're short and quick reads. So I really want to explore the world of graphic novels and manga. So that's what I'm gonna do. And then the third goal is to read from my Kindle more, because the amount of ebooks, now I've stopped doing this, but I used to, like every morning I would wake up, go to the Kindle Daily Deals store, and like any book that I was even slightly interested in, I would just buy it because it was $1.99. So I was like, why wouldn't I buy this? But now I have a lot of books on my Kindle that I haven't read, and they're all books that, well, not all of them, but they're mostly books that I want to read that I still am really interested in, and I forget that my Kindle exists, so I look at the books around me, the physical books around me, and I'm like, oh, I want to read that and I want to read that, and then I forget there's all these books that I have on this device. That's the whole point of a Kindle. So I really want to read more ebooks this year. but like specifically books from my Kindle. So question 4 is to share 3 of your most anticipated titles of 2023, and honestly I have 4, not 3, but I'll tell you some of them. So the first one is Day of Fallen Night by Samantha Shannon. I am so excited. It comes out on my birthday, which is very soon, in like a month. Actually a month from today, the day I'm filming this, is my birthday, but also Day of Fallen Night comes out. This is a prequel to Priory of the Orange Tree, and I'm so excited. I'm gonna try, emphasis on try, to reread Priory of the Orange Tree before I read Day of Fallen Night. We'll see how that goes, because obviously she's a big boy. But this is a prequel, like I said, so I don't think it's necessary to like have Priory fresh in your mind, but I want to like refresh my memory about the world and the magic and stuff like that, so I think it would be nice. Plus it's one of my favorite books, so it would be fun to reread. Also, like, because I did tab it, but when I read that book I hadn't started annotating yet, so I would like to go back and like annotate it and highlight things and stuff like that. So that is definitely one of my top anticipated releases of the year. The next one is Happy Place by Emily Henry. I mean, who isn't excited about this book? I feel like everyone has mentioned this book in their most anticipated books of 2023. I am so excited. I read Emily Henry's 3 adult romances this year and I gave all of them 5 stars. I love her writing so much. It's like she just writes just for me. Like, I love them so much. This one I am like a tad bit nervous about because it is a second chance romance and it's not my favorite trope. I wouldn't say I dislike it, but it's not my favorite trope. So I'm hoping I still like it as much as the other ones, but I'm just so excited. Like, so excited. It's gonna be so good, probably. And it takes place in Maine, and I love Maine, so that'll be great. And then the third one is The Court of Undying Seasons by A.M. Strickland, and this is the same author who wrote Beyond the Black Door and In the Ravenous Dark, 2 of my favorite books ever. I love those books so much, and I am so excited to read their next book. And all I know is that it's about vampires, and it's very queer, which all of her books are, so it's gonna be so good. I'm so excited. I think that comes out in May, or maybe June, I don't remember, but I'm so excited. And then my like honorable mention, but honestly I'm just as excited for this one, maybe even more than some of these other ones, I don't know. But Yellowface by R.F. Kuang comes out this year, and I'm so excited. Babel was obviously, again, one of my favorite books ever, so I think R.F. Kuang can do no wrong. Does that rhyme? R.F. Kuang can do no wrong? Not really, but it kind of sounds like it should. Anyways, I'm very tired. It's fine. But yeah, those are definitely my most anticipated releases of 2023. So the next question is, which goals did you reach or not reach last year? So I went back to look at the goals I set for myself in the January book tag from last year, and my first goal was to read 75 books, which was my Goodreads goal. I did complete that. Like I said, I think I read 83 books, so I completed that one. My next goal was to read from more BIPOC authors, and I think I read about the same as I did in terms of percentages. I think I read about the same as I had the year before that. I looked at my stats and apparently I read 37% BIPOC authors, which I would like that number to be higher. During the year, like, I felt like I was being intentional with my reading, and like often when I would look through my library to see like what audiobooks to listen to, I felt like I was like, oh, like, let's make sure to read a book by a BIPOC author because I feel like I've been reading from too many white authors recently. So I felt like I was being more intentional about that, but my stats I'm not happy with. So this year, again, I would like that number to be closer to like 50-50. So hopefully this year I can do better with that. And then my third goal was to read more mystery thrillers, which I did not do. I don't know how many mystery thrillers I read last year, but it wasn't a lot. I've been finding mystery thrillers kind of triggering, especially last year, but this year I would like to read more. I have a bunch, and there's a bunch that I'm interested in. It just depends on the content because I have very specific triggers, so we'll see. But I'm not making that a goal this year, but it'll be in the back of my mind. I would like to still do that. So the next question is, are there new releases this year that you have heard of but are not interested in? And there is one book that has already come out that everyone has been reading and I was not anticipating it at all, and that was Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo. This is the sequel to Ninth House, and I really did not like Ninth House. I gave that 2 stars. I really didn't like that book. It was just too dark for me, and I really didn't like the writing style, and honestly part of me thought that she would never write the second book, but then she did. It came out like a couple weeks ago and people seem to be liking it. And part of me feels FOMO, but I don't even remember much from Ninth House and I don't care about that story. So I'm glad everyone else is excited about it, but it's just not for me. I'm not gonna read it. So the next question is, what are some reading habits that you want to change this year? I think that's a question. Yeah, that is the question. And I'm pretty sure these are the same answers I gave last year, but I really want to like try to read more during the day, because for some reason in my mind I think like I have to do certain things first before I can read. Like I have to get this thing done and I have to watch this video and then I can read, and usually that ends up being at nighttime. And I think I have it in my head that like reading is for nighttime, but I want to read during the day because obviously I think I will read more if I spend more time in the day reading instead of doing random things like watching YouTube videos or I don't know, other random things I do. So I want to find more time during the day to read, and I also would like to DNF more. I DNF'd 2 books last year, which like for me that's pretty good, but I definitely have slogged through some books and I still like there's this voice in my head that's like, well, you started this book so you have to finish it. Also, if it's a book that like I bought, then I feel like I need to read the whole thing even though I'm not enjoying it. So that's something I definitely want to work on, is to DNF more. So the next question is, are there any adaptations that you're excited about? And oh boy, do I have some adaptations. So honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if I gave these same answers last year, but like some of them is like season 2 of the show. So first off, obviously Daisy Jones. We have a release date. Last year I hoped it would be in 2022, but it's coming out, I think it's March 3rd, 2023. And I'm so excited. That's another book like I think I want to reread it. I am so excited. It's gonna be so good. The casting is perfect. They've released 1 song already, Regret Me. It's just so good. Everything I've seen from the show so far, it looks amazing. I'm so excited. It's one of my favorite books. I'm so excited to watch it. And then obviously there's Shadow and Bone season 2, which comes out at the end of March. I still want to read, what is it called? Siege and Storm? Yeah, Siege and Storm and Ruin and Rising and 6 of Crows before season 2 comes out. I don't know if that'll happen, but I am very excited about it. Maybe I'll rewatch season 1. That sounds like a good idea. But I'm excited about that. And then obviously Heartstopper season 2. We don't know when. There's no release date yet, but they said 2023. So I have a feeling it'll be like the end of 2023 or the summer maybe. I don't know, but whenever that comes out, I am so excited. I recently watched it again. We all know how much I'm freaking wearing, I don't know if you could see, I'm wearing my Hi shirt. It's one of my favorite shows and I'm so excited to see season 2. Oh my gosh. My little babies. Yeah, I'm excited. So the next question is favorite bookish memory from this year, and I can't believe it still, but I got to meet some of my friends who are also booktubers this year. First, I met Lisa in the summer. We met up with each other in Maine. I mean, technically we met up in New Hampshire, but it was when I went to Maine. It was the first time I met Lisa, and oh my god. We only got to spend like a few hours with each other, so I definitely would like to see her for a longer period of time next time, but oh my god, it was just so amazing. She was the first booktube friend that I met and she's one of my best friends ever, and I just I'm gonna cry just thinking about it. But we had such a nice time together, and my friend Salma was also there. It was a great time. Like we had a grand old time, and oh god, I was so happy to meet her. And then in October I went to my friend Sid's wedding where I met Jan, the creator of this tag, and my other bestie Casey. So that was really fun. The whole day, like the day of Sid's wedding, was honestly one of the best days of my life. Like it was such a beautiful wedding. What a beautiful wedding. Okay. But yeah, so those 2 memories, like I can't believe the friends I have made through doing this. Like, can you even believe it? I cannot, but those are definitely my favorite memories of 2022. And then finally, the last question is, are there any carryovers from last year that you plan on finishing? And I mean, the only book that I was in the middle of when 2023 started was Lady Midnight, and I already finished it. So right now, no is the answer. Kind of an anticlimactic way to end this tag, but no, I'm happy about it. So yeah, that is the January book tag. I will obviously leave Jan linked down below. Definitely check her out if you haven't yet. I can't imagine you aren't already subscribed to her, but in case you're not, she will be linked down below. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon with another video soon. Bye!